Welcome to this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show from the Side Street Grill here at the Adrian Dorn University Center on the Morehead State campus. So we'll join our first segment with David Williams in just a second. Of course, a lot of action went over this past week. Softball, baseball, men's and women's basketball. So a lot of action went on in Eagle Country. David, got your first taste of D1 softball. How do you think your young ladies did?
Thought we showed very well over the weekend. Came out strong against a good College of Charleston team. Had a really good win there. They're picked to finish second in the Southern Conference, so felt like that was a real quality win from there. We didn't scratch out another win on the weekend, but we did hold a lead in all 4 games that we played this weekend. So obviously there's a lot of things to build on there and a lot of encouraging factors that go into that.
And, of course, just getting the season underway is a big deal, the fact that you're not scrimmaging against each other and playing pretty good competition, as you said.
Yeah, no, it's great. You can only practice so much, and then everybody gets bored with that. So kicking the season off and getting going, starting games, really beneficial for us, and we're going to use these first few weeks as we build into conference play, and hopefully that gets us prepared for the OVC schedule.
Tell us a little bit about the win over College of Charleston. It was a nice win, 7-2, and tell us a little bit about some of the people who might have stepped up for you in that game.
Obviously, College of Charleston, that was first game, and that was a really great win, a fairly convincing win by 5 runs. It was really a total team effort, but I would say it was highlighted by Anna Summer and Amber Riddle in that game. Both of them had some really, really big hits. We got some key contributions from other areas. Did a great job defensively, held them down. Jamie Wickham pitched a tremendous game that game. And, we manufactured runs. That was probably the most important thing. We've talked about manufacturing runs, and I've asked the players to try to give me 1 run an inning. We got 7 runs for the game, so that accounted for 1 run an inning there. So if we can score 7 runs on a consistent basis, we're going to be very successful. Looking
at some of the stats early on, we were on the road at Austin Peay. The fact that I think you put them in motion a little more, like you said, had a little more stolen bases maybe than we have and ran in the past.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking about it a second ago. Changing my philosophy a little bit right now. Usually I have teams that are real heavy with doubles, home runs, those types of things. Changing the philosophy just a little bit. We're going to put people in motion, try to manufacture those runs and put them in position. And we do have people that do have that capability of hitting for power and hitting the doubles and the home runs. But what we really want to do is we want to set them up for success. So if we can put those runners in scoring position via a sacrifice bunt or stolen base, that's one more opportunity we have to get somebody across.
I guess the big thing on Friday was the wait. I mean, the games got behind. The first game, I think, if the tournament went into extra innings, and then that delays it. Your game was what, about an hour, 45 minutes, almost 2 hours delayed?
It was actually 2.5 hours behind. We didn't start our first game on Friday till 8:30 at night. The second game on Friday started after 10:30. We left the park at about 12:38 and had to be back there at 10 o'clock the next morning. By the time all was said and done, we actually had played 4 games within a 24-hour period. So quite a hectic 24-hour schedule there.
And, of course, coming up, the Hilltopper Spring Classic, Saturday and Sunday. Murray State, Western Kentucky, Bowling Green, and Indiana State. Looks to be a pretty good field in that tournament.
It does. Murray State, obviously we got to play an OVC opponent in the tournament, but they've gotten off to a pretty good start, so I think that'll be a good test for us and obviously give us a glimpse of what we'll see later in the season. Western Kentucky's played a tough schedule as well, and I don't believe Indiana State has opened their schedule yet, and I think Bowling Green might have just played a couple, but I think it is a good schedule for us.
And, of course, after that you go to the Buzz Classic for the first home softball game scheduled for Wednesday, March 7th. Dayton coming to the University softball field to take on Morehead. That's a 2 o'clock start, but a lot of action between now and your home opener. I mean, you've got, as we said, the Hilltopper Spring Classic and the Buzz Classic, and there's some excellent softball programs in both of these tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely tested early. We got tested last weekend at College of Charleston, and we're going to be tested this weekend at Western Kentucky. And, then again next week down in Woodstock, Georgia at the Buzz Classic. So a lot of games coming up for us, a lot of challenges, and really all we can do is focus on getting better.
That's what you like to do, though, is to get to play these games. The weather cooperates. The fact that that's why you get out of the area, maybe going to a place that's supposed to be a little warmer, and the more games you can play early has to help you later.
Definitely. The more game experience we get is always beneficial. The more pitchers we face, the more pitches they see, the more batters our pitchers face. Everything helps us. If we can find a way to get a game in, we're going to find a way to get a game in.
You get 4 games under your belt, your 5th game canceled. You, as a coaching staff, now has a little selected stuff to come back and work on. So what have you been working on since you've been back?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that we need to concentrate on this week as we move into next week is pitch selection. We chased a little bit at the plate this past weekend, and part of that's to be expected. When you're not used to seeing different pitchers and things like that, a little bit of that is to be expected. So pitch selection is one thing we're really going to concentrate on this week, not chasing pitches out of the zone, being more selective about hitting pitches in the zone, not taking that first pitch strike. I'd rather us be aggressive. I don't want us to pass by a pitch that could be a great one to hit and then wind up swinging at one later that's not what we need. So we really need to concentrate on that, and then we really need to concentrate on finishing games. Like I said, we had the lead in all 4 games we played this past weekend, and we came out to great starts, played really good, 5-6 innings. And not to say that we let the other team take it from us, we just let it slip away a little bit. We need to have more of a cutthroat mentality and put the pressure on and make sure that we are in position to win that game at the end.
Since we are kind of family here, has that included you finishing games as well? I mean, you got your first taste of D1 umpiring a little bit. Didn't make it to the end of one of your games. Your 4th game, you made history.
I did not. I was ejected for the first time in my coaching career. Only for the game to be called 1 out later, not even an out later. An out wasn't even recorded. So I left the field 2 minutes later. The game was over, and I walked back in the gate. But, yes, I did get the boot, and it is something that I'm actually very embarrassed about and sorry for.
We're just giving you a hard time.
I know.
So, but we understand that. Especially wait till you get to the OVC officials. So, okay.
I was actually telling somebody today there's some OVC umpires I saw that are on the list for this year. I had them in my old conference. So we'll have to see how that shakes out.
You'll make nice with all of them.
We
know.
Sure.
I mean, but getting the Hilltopper Classic coming up this weekend, the Buzz Classic next weekend, and of course Dayton coming up on March 7th. Need a big crowd out for that game. These young ladies have worked awful hard to this point, and by the time you get home for your first home game, hopefully you'll have more than 10 games under your belt.
I hope so. You kind of hit the nail on the head there. These young ladies have worked very hard. I've been very, very impressed with the amount of effort and work ethic we put in, and they want to be successful. They want to do well. They want to represent Morehead State. And I do think, once we get a little bit more experience, we figure out how to play with each other and learn how to finish some of those games, I think we're going to be very successful.
Matt Ballard always talks about in football, the biggest difference and the biggest improvement is from game 1 to game 2. As a softball coach, I guess you'd like to see that improvement from tournament 1 to tournament 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think one advantage we have over a lot of sports, you don't have a lot of time to sit around and analyze a loss if you lose. With our sport, you can lose and turn around and play 20 minutes later. So you don't have time to really, beat yourself up over it. You got to pick yourself up, move on. And, we're going to take this week and work on those things that we could have done a little bit better last week. And hopefully we improve upon those things this week. And, if it doesn't work out game 1, maybe it'll work out game 2 this week. So, we're definitely in an advantage because we get to play a lot more games than some other sports.
Murray State will be the first opponent in the Hilltopper Classic coming up on Saturday the 25th. The second game for Morehead will be the host Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Then on Sunday, Bowling Green State and Indiana State. So, David, good luck with that tournament down at Western Kentucky. Stay well. Stay in the game.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
David Williams, softball coach at Morehead State University. We'll come back with a legend in his own mind, Tom Hodges, after this break. This is the Eagles Sports Coaches.
Mic on.
Welcome to the Side Street Grill, second segment of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. We're joined by Tom Hodges.
Hello, Jason.
See? Now you can turn the applause sign
We had
off.
7 people clapping right there. We're going places.
Well,
That's a drastic improvement from last week. We were around the 4.5 mark last week. So
4 plus 3
we're
is 7.
doubling.
Yes. Now next week, right before the OVC tournament, we may get
I don't know.
10. We're going for 10.
You know, like I mentioned before, when the Sunday email comes out of who's on the docket, who does Andrew choose to join you on the Eagle Sports Coaches Show, it's just really, really stressful time for me before I open it. Luckily, we made the cut again, but we've added people. We're adding people to the roster. I feel like he's squeezing me out. It's getting really, really nail-biting. I mean,
need to look in your contract to see how many minutes per show you have to do.
I just got to fulfill contractual obligations. Coach Getz and myself are just we're adversaries right now in this sparring match that is the Eagle Sports Coaches Show.
One game last week between shows, Austin P. A overtime loss, but a game that it was a very difficult game because we were playing without Linda Dixon for most of that game. But give the Lady Govs a little credit; they came through in the overtime period against us.
Yeah, it was a good college basketball game. In Clarksville, thought for the first 13 minutes of the game, we really played at the pace that we want to play, and I was really proud of our young ladies for keeping at that pace. When it became more of a half court grinded out game, and we had to do that because of some foul trouble. Obviously, Linda Dixon has been either our leading scorer or second leading scorer in every OVC game. She played 20 minutes of a 45-minute contest, so that handicapped us a little bit. But I was really proud of Therese Robinson. Had a nice game for us. Almisa Jones had a nice game for us in Linda's absence. So while we didn't get the win, there were certainly some positives to take out of that.
I think we've seen Mackenzie Arledge turn the corner. She was very aggressive down low, and she really has put some steady numbers up for you.
What corner?
It's kind of okay. Turn the court.
Caddy corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she's played hard. She's went to war the last number of games, and it seemed like a different attitude for that young lady.
She has. She's just really put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and she's seeing the benefits of that. As Kristen Perry. Kristen Perry comes off the bench, score 8 big points for us in that game. Mackenzie had 6 rebounds in that game. So Tyler each one had 7 points in that game. So slowly but surely, not as quickly as we would like, but slowly but surely that 4 and 5 position are coming on for us, and hopefully they're coming on at the right time.
We got 2 games this weekend. Thursday, Eastern Illinois comes to town, and then SIU Edwardsville will wrap things up for the regular season on Saturday. And still kind of a wide-open race in the Ohio Valley Conference with who wins what, how you're going to finish in the regular season, and how the pairings will be in the OVC tournament next week in Nashville.
It's going to be unbelievably competitive as we all enter the last game or last 2 games. There's kind of a jumble at the top and then a jumble at the middle. We're kind of in that 4, 5, 6 spot. We could finish anywhere as high as 4th. We could finish anywhere as low as 8th. So it's going to be really interesting. Every game is going to count. It's certainly what college basketball at our level is all about. It comes down to these 2 weeks. Everything that you do in your season really builds up to to how this thing shakes out. So it's an exciting time.
Radius Ali's bunch losing Saturday will come with a little more grit. They always play, it seems like, Moorhead hard, but coming off a loss, maybe losing that number 1 seed, they may have something to prove.
Well, they certainly could. Since we played them in Charleston, they're 2-2. They were undefeated in the league when we played them in Charleston. They went to UT Martin and dropped a contest and lost to Edwardsville at home. So they're not playing as well as they had been, but certainly nothing circles the wagons like a tough loss at home. So we'll certainly have our work cut out for us as we enter into that game.
And then SIUE comes to town on Saturday. Special night, senior night, always a special time here at Moorhead State, and you'll honor Courtney Lumpkin and Linda Dixon during some festivities.
Yeah, the senior night's always a special night, no matter what sport you're involved with. The finality of playing your last home game is always emotional. It always is a big day for those people that are involved. It's special here at Moorhead State that it can be a doubleheader. When people ask me, what's one of the best memories in college athletics I've ever had, and it really is last year to get to retire the jersey of China Bozeman and Kenneth Reed on that senior night. I don't know that I've ever been involved with a more emotional, more uplifting night to see the raw reactions to such a monumental thing. So I always look forward to that. Courtney and Linda are 2 young ladies that I'm going to hate to see them go, Jason. They've meant so much to me personally and so much to the program over the last couple years that it's going to be a special day.
Yeah, Courtney will finish her OVC and Moorhead State career as one of the, top 10 in scoring, second in assists. She'll have a lot of numbers. And then take a look at Linda Dixon's career coming really out of nowhere.
The show's getting a little stale. We've driven the volleyball coaches out.
Well, they've ate.
We're getting see. That's what happens when we start talking about basketball. Don't talk about basketball. Let's get to some current issues, some world issues.
Well,
we've driven the Coach Gordon, our championship volleyball coach. We've run him out of the stands by talking about our team.
And he's never even noticed.
No,
anything
he's
he said.
never broken stride.
Nope.
That shows you how exciting we are.
But
Random applause. See, only furthers my point.
I think that's petty applause.
Yeah, we need to make it more of a.
Or maybe pity applause for you. So okay, but let's go to Courtney will finish as one of the all-time great players in Eagle history. So give her her due.
Absolutely, Courtney Lumpkin. Give you an idea of Courtney. Courtney was on pace to break the all-time assist record here at Moorhead State. Like I said this morning, assist is not a one-way street. To have an assist, you have to also have a receiver on the other end with the score, and we just hadn't gotten enough of those this year. So to Courtney's credit, we moved her out of the point guard spot of no doing of her own. She was doing a great job, but we needed her to score. So we moved her to a shooting guard spot where she's averaged about 22 points a game since we made that move. And Almeisha Jones, she sacrificed that record for the betterment of the team. And that's the ultimate team player. And that's kind of the special young lady that Courtney is.
And then you take a look at Dixon, the fact that where she was her sophomore year to where she is now, and had a breakout junior season, and she'll go down as one of the most underrated come-from-nowhere players in OVC history.
Absolutely. Linda scored 10 combined points her freshman year and her sophomore year, 10. Last week she got 31 against Eastern Kentucky and got, I think, 20 against Jacksonville State. So the transformation will be a great example for me to use and for this program to use as we move forward, that if you put the work in, if you put the time in, you have the right attitude, good things will happen. And I certainly can't say enough good things about Linda Dixon or Courtney Lumpkin.
Yeah, it's a great story for Linda. The fact that, this didn't happen overnight for her, and it didn't happen by accident. She's put in the hours at the gym. She's worked hard. She turned into a very solid defensive player and then opened it up for the offensive side.
Absolutely. It's kind of the necessity is the mother of all invention, and we certainly needed her to score this year, so she just got in the gym, worked on her three-point shot. She's shooting over 32% from the three. She's hit over 63s this year. She's been everything that we've needed her to be, and that's going to be something we'll sorely miss. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of coaching Courtney and Linda over the next 2-3 weeks, however long our season lasts.
Eastern Illinois will come to town 5:15 on Thursday, 5 o'clock airtime here on the ESN. SIUE will come to town on Saturday, same thing, 5:15 and 5 o'clock will be the airtime. I'd like to pass along that the OVC fan bus will be available. You can sign up by going to the Dean of Students webpage. Get this deal, $40.
$40.
Tickets. Hotel. Transportation. $40. $40 for the OVC tournament.
Tickets.
Yep.
Hotel.
Yep.
Transportation.
And all they have to do is go to the Dean of Student webpage.
Who would be our Dean of Students here, Jason?
If they've listened and watched this show.
We're big in Iceland.
Yeah.
We're big in Iceland.
if
you Icelanders don't know who our Dean of Students is.
We had him on. We had him on before you got here one time because we were trying to fill some time.
I don't know our schedule. Andrew just jostles around our schedule like I'm at his disposal, which I am. It's very humbling to be at Andrew's disposal, but he runs a tight ship here on the Eagle Sports Coaches Show.
And ESN, right? You like to say that.
I think we need to go with our signature send-off. I'm Tom Hodges for Jason Blanton. This is ESN.
See, you've got that down pat. You may get into broadcasting.
Well, the way our season's going, Jason, if you need a color guy, might be at your disposal.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
Right.
Okay. Tom, good luck on Thursday and Saturday. We'll talk to you next week. Tom Hodges, head coach of the women's basketball program here at Morehead State University. We'll come back with more. This is the Eagle Sports Coaches. Welcome. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. All right.
That's up.
It's up. Welcome back to the Eagle Sports Coaches Show from the Side Street Grill here at Morehead State University. Jay Sorg has joined us now. And see, you got your own fan club now.
I think that was more than 7. That might have been 8 for us.
I
don't know.
We broke the record set by many. Jay got underway this past weekend. Not probably what you'd like to see, but you did get underway and got some innings for your troops.
We did, and it was two good games, 2 bad games. It just seemed like everything we did. We had 12 pitchers throw, 6 threw well, 6 didn't. Had 2 games we hit well, 2 games we didn't. We did play good, consistent defense, so that was good to see. So we learned a lot about a lot of guys, and it was some good, some bad, and some we hope we never see again.
One of those cases, Coach, that you playing someone that's not yourself. I mean, you quit. You were actually in game situations, and as a coach, that's probably only true test that you can see how your young men are doing.
Yeah, and we played a good team too. I mean, we got to remember we played a team that was 39-20 in the top 50 in the country last year, and it was a good club, and they do a great job with their program. And so for us to go down there and compete and get a chance to play those guys, I think will make us better in the long run.
And as you mentioned, got some good points to work on because you saw what maybe you need to work on and come back here and get ready for your home stand that begins on the 24th against Jackson State. but able to work on things that you saw that the Eagles need to concentrate a little more on right now.
We do. We got to make sure our starting pitching is consistent. I thought we had 2 great starts. Noah Smallwood and Aaron Go, the freshman, really threw an outstanding game, and that's very encouraging to see. I thought Josh Snyder threw the ball well for 4 innings, came back in the 5th, and as a redshirt senior, there's some things we expect a little better out of him in that situation. And then we struggled the last day on Sunday, which is something we've got to be better at. Sunday's a huge day in our conference, and we've got to win those Sunday games.
And, of course, you mentioned how good the Mercer program is, and it's, you go down there and the weather is not what, I guess, Macon weather is this time of year.
No, the last time we went down there, 70 and sunny every day. We went down there this year, and Friday was nice, but after that you had the 55 and the high winds and the rain. So it wasn't ideal. We had to change our schedule around, be real flexible. I do believe that first day took a lot out of both teams, and you could kind of tell that the rest of the series.
I know that had a quick turnaround from Friday to Saturday.
We played 2 9-inning games on Friday. We didn't get back to the hotel till after 11 o'clock, and we had to bump the game up the next day to beat the rain, so we started at noon. And I think that's part of the reason why you saw a 2-1 ball game on Saturday, and I think both teams were spent. But, regardless, we went out there and we got the chance to play, and we got a chance to see a lot of new players and find out a lot about those guys, and it was a good experience for us.
You mentioned that some games you hit well, some games you threw well, but kind of the constant probably, as we talked before the game, was defensively. You were very happy with the way things went in the 4 games.
Defensively, we played really well, and I think we're going to. I think in the outfield we're going to be very rangy. We're going to get to a lot of balls. We had a lot of diving plays. We saved runs on diving plays, keeping the ball in the infield. Our infield was very steady. Threw a couple base runners out from behind the plate. So for me, it was very good. And, we got the chance to play a lot of position players. I think we played 15 position players. 11 of those, or actually 12 of those guys got a start. So we got to throw those combinations we talked about earlier out there and got a chance to see some things. And overall, I was very happy. I do know there's a couple guys we've got to get going for us to be successful offensively. But on the other side of it, there were some guys I was really pleased with.
I like the fact that you're taking this first part of the season before the Ohio Valley Conference schedule, and you're trying to work out the different people, and you're trying to get the different combinations done, because you never know if a bench player, if you give them starts, that it'll help you down the road, but you never know when that bench player may catch on fire and not be a bench player anymore.
Well, and you know how a season goes in baseball. When you're playing 56 games, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have guys that need a day off, and those guys have to be ready to play if that ends up being the case. And we use our bench, so we've got to have guys that, when you're bringing in a guy to pinch hit with a big at bat on the line, you don't want to have that guy not having some playing time before he got to that spot. So we're going to run the combinations out here over the next couple weeks, and then you'll start to see us settle into more consistent lineup. Yeah.
You mentioned last week that you were going to try to go a little longer on pitch count because you had a little extra work. The fact that it had been dry or actually not as cold here in the winter, how did that work out?
I thought it went okay. I think what we did was try to get relievers to start innings just to give them a clean slate. It didn't happen all the time. Also the game dictated. On Sunday, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to take Garrick as far as we needed to, but he kind of put himself in that position, and he'll tell you that. So. But a guy like Aaron Go, we got up close to 90 pitches, so it was pretty good.
Well, you have Jackson State coming in on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 o'clock on Friday, 2 o'clock on Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Tell us a little bit about Jackson State.
Jackson State's going to be a team probably like we've never really played before with their style. I mean, you're talking about a team that consistently steals about 100 bases a year. They probably have 2 or 3 draft guys on their club when it's all said and done. We're going to see a very good arm from them. We're going to see a lot of guys, they're going to put the ball in play a lot. They're going to hit and run a lot. They're going to bunt a lot. I think from an offensive standpoint, we really need to put pressure on their defense. So it's going to be a different style, but I think that's going to be really good for us to see that kind of style because there will be a couple teams in the OVC that have gravitated towards that style.
That's probably one of the reasons you like to get a team like Jackson State if there are similar to an Ohio Valley Conference team, you can
Yeah.
check how you're going to be against a team
when
like that.
like we talked about with these bats, you're starting to see a lot more stolen bases, and you even saw it out of us. I mean, we had more stolen bases in a weekend than we normally have, or at least attempts, and teams are gravitating towards that. And because of that, we need to face a team that's going to put a little pressure on us defensively, put a little pressure on our pitchers, put a little pressure on our catchers, making sure they receive the ball well, throw the ball accurately.
You know, after your first 3 dates in Macon, you come home, as we said, Jackson State. You don't leave the state for a time because after Jackson State, you play the Big Blue, University of Kentucky, on the 28th, and they're always a great opponent to play. I don't know as early as this is if you like to play them, but, you know, that's what it is on the schedule.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us. We're going to play 3 games this weekend and go and play at Kentucky. We've always played them very strong at their place, so it'd be nice to get one from them this year. And then I think we have Buffalo after that coming back to us, which is a team that we usually have on our schedule every couple of years or so.
So you won't leave the area again to March 9th, so you have a chance, hopefully with some good weather, to get some action outside, play some great teams, and get a little more closer to how you want to shape this team.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to see a little more consistency in our lineup the deeper we go. And but I think you'll like what you see if you come out and watch. I think you're going to like some of our arms. I think you're going to like some of our left-handed bats. I think you'll like some of the speed we have offensively. And I think defensively will be pretty fun to watch that way too.
Eagles home opener, Jackson State on February 24th, Friday, 3 o'clock. And then, of course, the 3-game series, 1 game each day, which is almost like how the OVC schedule is now.
It is. And you know, that's kind of how we plan. Of course, you never know if we ever get a chance to sneak another game in there. We might be able to do it. I know there might be some difficulties to doing that. Of course, we got to watch the weather, see if that's even going to be possible anyway. But early in the year, we want to play as much as we can, get as many at-bats in, get as many arms as we can throw to throw. So any opportunity we get to play, we're going to try.
Well, come on out to see at Allen Field the baseball team coming up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll catch up with you later in the season. Jay, always a pleasure.
Thanks, Jason.
Jay Sorg, baseball coach at Morehead State University. We'll come back. We'll talk a little basketball with Donnie Tindall after this break on the Eagles. Welcome back to the Eagles Sports Coaches Show on this Tuesday. Of course, the men and women will be playing doubleheaders down at Johnson Arena. Coming up on Thursday, Eastern Illinois will come to town. The women's game will start at 5:15. 5 o'clock airtime on the ESN. The men will follow about a half hour, 24 minutes after that. And then, of course, SIU Edwardsville will come to town on Saturday. Same game time, 5:15, and then 24, 25 minutes after that. But, of course, it'll be senior day on Saturday. But let's talk a little bit about last week. Got to play a big game down at Clarksville and a big win over Austin Peay, a hard-fought win.
Well, absolutely, Jay. You know, every time we play Austin Peay, it seems like it comes down to the last 30 seconds, and it was no different in Clarksville this time. Low-scoring affair, 52-48, but both teams played unbelievably hard for 40 minutes, and it literally came down to the last 30 seconds. Our guys made some plays late. Marcel Holden stepped up and made a big 3, and Lamont Austin got to the foul line and converted. And we just executed late game. Again, it wasn't pretty, but anytime you can hold a potent offensive team like Austin Peay, who some people probably forget was picked to win our league, to 48 points on their home floor, that's a pretty impressive defensive effort.
The fact that you hung in, and then down the stretch made the plays that you needed to win. As a coach, you have to be happy as you're doing it here as we come to late February.
Well, it is. You know, you're always trying to get your team to play their best basketball late in the year, and we've been fortunate. We've won 6 of our last 8 conference games, and I think that's a testament to our guys' grit and toughness. A lot of those games have been games that have been decided in the last couple minutes, and I thought that our team showed a lot of grit, got through some tough situations. Drew Kelly was once again in foul trouble, and things didn't go our way and make the game easy for us on the offensive end, but we continued to guard and rebound, and then we gave ourselves a chance late in the game.
I think that's the main focus of this team, the fact that offensively you may never score 100 points, but the fact that you turn defense into your points by holding the other team not getting their average all the time, and that 2-3 matchup zone has become a staple of yours.
Well, I think you have to adjust if you're really evaluating yourself as a coach. You have to adjust a little bit each and every year with your personnel. You certainly recruit to your system, and you want to play a certain style, but this year, early in the year, we were playing for the most part like we always have. But when you lose a guy like Terrence Hill, you have to adjust. And so we knew we weren't going to be a team that could continue to try to put 65 to 75 points on the board. And so we had to slow the game down a little bit. We have to be a little bit more conservative. We certainly run at opportune times and try to convert in the open floor. But if it's not there, we've tried to become a very methodical, set play-oriented, efficient offensive team, and I think we've done that. Our turnovers have went down the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I think the right guys are taking the right shots, which is very important.
Yeah, and they've been different people in different games, and as a coach, when you're trying to get that rotation down and people step up for you, that makes that all that hard work that they put in kind of, is a special situation.
Well, it does, and I think that, early in the year I said this may be our deepest team we've ever had. I certainly didn't say it was our most talented or our best team, but we have 9 or 10 guys that are pretty much the same, and some nights it's been Ty Profit, other nights it's been Lamont Austin, Marcel Holden's been good, Milton Chavis has scored some balls, Angelo Warner's had some really good games as a freshman. And the last couple of weeks, Dre Matthew, who had a very tragic incident in his life. He lost his best friend about 3 weeks ago and went home for the funeral and didn't even play for 3 straight games. And we go to Austin P, and he gets 10 points and 6 rebounds as a freshman. So you're exactly right, Jason. Guys have stepped up at different times. Devon Atkinson at times has given us a lift. And different guys. Will Bailey, the first time we played Eastern Illinois, steps in and makes a big 3 and has a steal. So different guys have stepped up, and that's kind of the nature of our team this year.
Eastern Illinois comes to town on Thursday, and they're 5-9 in the OVC, 12-15 overall. But it seems like after the fact that we went to Charleston, Illinois, they've been playing a little better.
Well, they have. I think they've won 4 of their last 5, if I'm not mistaken. They've inserted a guy into the lineup, Akers, who is a lot like the kid we had a few years ago, Nikola Stojakovic. He doesn't shoot very many balls, but he's a great facilitator. He's a great passer. He makes everyone on the floor better. When we went up there, he hadn't hardly played all year, and he played 21 minutes in our game, had 8 assists, no turnovers in just 21 minutes, and has been playing a large amount of minutes since then. And their team has went from scoring about 57 a game in conference play to the last 5 conference games. I think they're averaging 73 points a game. So he's really changed the look of their team from an offensive standpoint. We were fortunate to get a 1-point win at their place, and we know that Thursday night's going to be another hard-fought conference game against a quality team.
SIUE will come to town on Saturday. We talked to Tom about the seniors. You got 3. Lamont Austin, Hill, and Profit. The fact that those 3, especially with Hill going out and losing most of the season with the injury, they've paid their dues, and it'll be a special night at Johnson Arena.
Well, it will. I'll start with Lamont Austin. When you think about his track record over his career, he won 2 state championships in high school, a junior college national championship, and then last year helps our team win the OVC championship and go on to the round of 32. So he's one of those guys. He's about nothing but winning, doesn't get caught up in statistics or shot attempts or any of that stuff. He just plays basketball to win, and he's won everywhere he's always been. We hope to send him out with a couple of wins this weekend at home. Terrence Hill, if we can get one more win, will leave our program as the player with the most wins in the history of the school to ever wear an Eagle uniform. So I think that speaks for itself. Would have definitely been a 1,000-point score. Just tragic with the knee injury and the whole deal. But Terrence is doing well. He's rehabbing hard. And then Ty Profit, I always use him as a role model for the epitome of what a student athlete should be. Here's a guy that's a 3.8 or 3.9 student. He's just a role model in every sense of the word. He's a great leader. He's a fantastic player. He's been OVC Player of the Week once this year. And the biggest thing he's done really the last 2 seasons, Jason, is he's been a coach on the floor. He leads not just by example, but he'll challenge guys when they need to be challenged. He'll pull a young buck aside and talk to them when they need some encouragement. So, again, I hope we can send those guys out the right way. But 3 fantastic young men that are all going to graduate on time in May.
I know the fact that you rely a lot on Ty after Hill went down, the fact that, he had to turn up his offensive play a little bit. Ty is so unselfish, never looked for the shot, but he had to after Hill went down.
Yeah, and I always talk about with Ty, some games just predicated on how the team's playing, he's going to get 10 to 12, 14 shots. And then other nights, he might get 2 or 4 shots. It's just he's not a guy that's going to create a lot off the dribble. It's kind of, but he has been more aggressive in driving the ball in a straight line, getting to the foul line a little bit. And he kind of takes what the defense gives him. Again, a lot like Lamont Austin, he's not hung up in how many shot attempts he gets or points he scores, but simply doing everything he can to help our team win. And he's played literally every position except the 5 spot. He's played point guard. He's played power forward. The guy's been invaluable.
So senior day, you're going to start him as center just so he can play everybody.
That's right. We're going to go real small and put Ty at the center spot Saturday night.
He'd do it.
Yeah, he
would do that.
He'd battle, no doubt.
I'd like to remind everybody, the students, the OVC fan bus, you can go to the Dean of Students or the web page to find some information, sign up for it. $40 for ticket, hotel, and transportation. So you better be hurrying it up because that bus will fill up fast. That's a fan bus for the Ohio Valley Conference basketball tournament next week in Nashville. $40 for the tickets, hotel, and transportation. So you can go on to moreheadstate.edu and find the Dean of Students webpage and sign up for that. And taking a look at the OVC standings, Coach, that's in front of us, the fact that we kind of hold our own destiny as we go into the last 2 regular season games.
Well, we do. I was just talking with Brian Hutchinson, our athletic director, and we have a legitimate chance to finish in 3rd. If SEMO were to lose those last 2 on the road against tough opponents and Tech were to lose to Murray State, we could, if we win them both, actually finish in 3rd. Possibly if SEMO wins one and Tech were to lose, finish 4th. So you'd love to get that first round bye. Certainly that's our goal, and if we could finish 3rd or 4th with everything we've been through this year, it really would be truly remarkable. And as I say, you go into the conference tournament, certainly everyone will be picking Murray State, but when you look at the teams 2 through 8, however it shakes out, it's about as evenly matched and balanced as it can possibly be. And so I just hope that we get the opportunity to play Murray State again at some point in time.
Murray State is 13-1, and Tennessee State is 11-4. Southeast Missouri State is 9-5. Then you have Tennessee Tech at 9-6, Morehead State at 8-6, Eastern 6-8, Jack State 6-8, Austin P 6-8, Eastern Illinois and SIUE. Of course, SIUE is not eligible for the postseason. They're 5-9. So really, depending on who they're playing, where they're playing, this tournament bracket's not going to be decided before late Saturday night.
Yeah, no question. And I think everyone will be scrambling Sunday morning to get tapes ready of who they may play and et cetera. But that's exciting. That's an exciting time of year. And, you look forward to this. You work all year long for this opportunity. I'm glad that, at one time we didn't know if we'd even get in the tournament. So we're in. Now we're working on seeding. And the other thing I think is important to let our fans know, Jay, is if we win 2 more games, which would get us to 17 and solidify a winning season, there's not been 4 straight winning seasons in the MSU basketball program since 1967 through 71, if I'm not mistaken. So you're talking about over 40 years of going without 4 straight winning seasons. So that would be quite an accomplishment for us as well.
Well, you take a look at your staff and your kids, and, you lose the All-American Kenneth Fareed, who's had his first double-double Friday night for the Denver Nuggets. Been starting some, been playing as of late pretty good for George Karl.
Yeah, no question. In fact, I think he had his second double-double last night, if I'm not mistaken, and he's doing it in limited minutes. I mean, his first double-double, I believe, was 18 and 10 in like 23 or 24 minutes. So he's got that incredible motor and that energy, and I just think Kenneth's going to go on and play 10, 12, 14 years in the NBA. We're so proud of what he's done, in addition to being named the Kentucky Sports Person of the Year. Just unbelievable. Certainly very well deserved, and is representing Morehead State in a big way.
That's a nice feather in his Eagle cap. As he was in Denver, couldn't accept that. President Andrews accepted that. It was a nice ceremony in Lexington last week. But you lose him, Harper, Goodman. You come into December 31st, you lose your leading scorer, Hill. But these kids are, I think, mentally tough, physically tough, and they did exactly what you wanted them to do. I know we haven't won as many as we had in the past, but we weren't going to, because you take that talent out. But they've probably got the maximum out of their ability.
Well, you'd like to think we have, and again, that's a tribute to our coaching staff. I'm very, very fortunate to have an outstanding coaching staff, and we literally are tweaking things going into each and every game, just a set play here, a little different bump in our zone there, just anything we can to save a basket or two or to get us a basket or two. And then the guys, the players, deserve the credit for getting that into the game. They've worked extremely hard, and as you mentioned, you lose 3 of your top 5 from a year ago, and then your best player this year. That's a lot to overcome, but you know what? I'm very proud of our guys. Never hung their head. They never felt sorry for themselves. Our staff goes to the floor every day with the same mentality we did this time a year ago, and that's never going to change. And I think that your kids vibe that from the coaches, and they continue to expect to win. And that's the mentality our team has. We expect to win.
Yeah, and I think you ought to get a lot of credit. You've changed that since you've been here, the fact that now we expect to win, and the crowd comes out. And I know that you'd like to have 2 nice crowds to send these 3 young men off in style coming up on Thursday and Saturday.
Well, no question about it. I want to challenge our community and our students Thursday night's a huge game. We need to have that place rocking and have a great environment, people on their feet, and giving our team that boost we need to play a little harder and play a little better. And then Saturday, like any senior night, these 3 young men deserve to go out the right way. They were part of a team that was the best team in the history of the program. They've represented our program the right way. Again, all are going to graduate on time, and so I hope that Saturday night we bid these guys a fond farewell the right way, and I believe we'll do that.
Doubleheader on Thursday and Saturday. EIU on a Thursday night, SIU Edwardsville on Saturday. Come on out. The game starts at 5:15 with the women. The men will follow about 25 minutes after that. And, of course, you can click on the webpage, msueagles.com, on Sunday morning. They'll have both the men and women's OVC tournament, and you'll know where we stand come next week in the big city of Nashville, Tennessee.
That'll be fun. We're looking forward to it, Jay.
Always a pleasure, Coach. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Donnie Tyndall, basketball coach at Morehead State. That's going to do it for this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. I'd like to thank David Williams, Jay Sorg, Tom Hodges, and Donnie Tyndall. Until next week, for Ian Corbin, the radio producer, I'm Jason Blanton. So long.